Hello everyone, this is your captain. Prep your grav couches and get ready for the juice, because we're about to flip and burn and head back into the expanse. This will be a high G manoeuvre. I'm Andy and I'm joined as ever by Elton. How are you doing, sir?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
We're just a little behind the scenes. We're recording a little bit later than usual because I've been off gallivanting across the solar system. But we're here to talk about episode... Ooh, which episode is this?
8.
This is 8 of season 1, Salvage.
Yeah.
Any initial thoughts before we get into it?
It's not a filler,
No.
but it is in that very awkward position of the halfway point of the season has passed and we are building up to something towards the very end.
Oh, yes. We are, if you will, entering the end game. Very exciting. As is tradition, we'll begin with the synopsis of the episode, because we don't beat by beat this thing. We've got no time for that. Much more interesting stuff to do. So, the brief synopsis is, the crew of Rocinante discover a derelict vessel holding a secret that may destroy humankind. Holden and the crew are led to Eros, where they finally cross paths with Miller, only to make a horrifying discovery. And on Earth, Avasarala receives some distressing news. So yeah. Little strokey chin. So, as is also tradition, obviously we're going to many different places across the solar system this week. Have you any thoughts on how you would like to tackle it? Because I have thoughts, but I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Okay, right. My thoughts about this. I think we should go... I'm not too sure whether to go Earth Tycho or Tycho Earth. I think Tycho Earth, then Eros with Miller. No, hang on, no. Yes, Eros with Miller, then the Rocinante, and whatever happens after that.
I see where you're going. You're wrong, but I see where you're going with that.
Go on then. How should we play it then?
Well, it's the fun thing about being the captain is I'm in charge.
Yeah.
So I think what we're going to do it a little bit differently, because there's 3 main locations, but we're going to do a couple of small ones on the way. So I think we're going to start, as the episode starts, at the beginning with the transit ferry that we saw last time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the little ferry going from Ceres to Eros, because having just done 2 12-hour flights in the space of 72 hours, I can sympathise with Miller quite a bit there.
Right, okay.
Just, I just like the idea that you got these, like, effectively airliners flying between the asteroids.
They're buses, aren't they?
They're basically space buses. Well, actually, I think they're Space EasyJet.
That's kind of a bus, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's an Airbus. But yeah, we got old Miller, first time leaving Ceres, because obviously born and bred there, never left. And Space Mormons again. I do love the Space Mormons.
Yeah, preachy, aren't they?
Yeah, a bit.
It's cool though. Everyone's got their own little digs. So it's the way that it's almost sly to get to there though. It's very. I'm just gonna engage with you in conversation. By the way, I'm not selling you anything, but I am.
Have you accepted Jesus Christ into your life yet?
Yeah, it's that sentence, isn't it?
I don't know if you've seen the Book of Mormon. Which is a very funny play, and people should go and see it if they have the opportunity. But I kind of like to imagine that the Book of Mormon still exists in the world of the Expanse, and is perhaps played on the, Ceres and the asteroid belt, perhaps updated to reflect the modern time and the fact that Mormons are going all around. But we do get a bit of information from him. We hear a couple of things about the Nauvoo, which we've seen being built a few times, and we see a little bit in this episode.
Is this the one that's been built in Tycho?
Yes.
Okay,
That big, huge thing which dwarfs Tycho Station. But we learned that the Nauvoo is going to leave the solar system and head to a new planet, which the Mormons have picked out for reasons.
They're making a pilgrimage.
They're making a pilgrimage. And I quite liked the dialogue, the back and forth between Miller and the Mormon, with Miller basically saying, so what happens when you get there and there's nothing there? And the guy saying, well, then, it just means that we haven't finished searching. I'd be a little bit more concerned, I have to say.
That is, I've got to be very careful. It's a very easy way to say, well, we haven't found anything, so we will continue searching. But that's exactly what he says, really, isn't it?
That is exactly, yeah.
What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? I don't know. It's a great answer to a question that is very straight down the line.
I think it's very clear that Miller's very much an atheist, for lack of a better word. He definitely seems to just believe in... He doesn't really seem to have faith in anything, except perhaps Julie. Again, that's a line he says later on. But he basically is... he's living a moment. He believes in himself. He believes in stuff he can see and touch. And then you've got the Mormon there who's, all about faith. And, I honestly think the Mormon was just trying to be helpful and nice. I think the whole trying to convert is just kind of part of their usual regime, and in their own mind, probably trying to be nice.
They have targets. They have to hit certain quotas, and they have to hit expenses as well. And it's the super size me thing, isn't it? If they don't do that, then their manager's just going to ask them, why didn't you ask to supersize?
It's true.
So that's how it works, isn't it?
I feel this is a dangerous course we're on, so let us leave the transit ferry. And I'll just say as well, it looks just as bad there as it did on my flight. So
yeah,
nice knowing in 500 years nothing's really changed. But speaking of the Nauvoo, let's hop over to Tycho, where we see the Nauvoo, at least very briefly, and a very, very large, I suppose figurehead. Would you call it? The gold, winged, blowing on the trumpet there.
That's a lot of gold.
That is a lot of gold, yeah.
That's a huge amount. That is a proper nugget of an asteroid that was floating around, and someone just got it and went, yeah, let's shape this.
Pretty much.
Where'd you cast something like that?
Oh, I don't think you could cast that. I think that's going to have to have been,
lasers.
Well, I think it's probably more like the Statue of Liberty.
Okay.
It's probably a frame, and then they just kind of put plates over the outside to give it the shape.
Right. Gotcha.
We see the Nauvoo, and we see old Fred Johnson potentially up to his old tricks again. He's trying to hack into that data chip he stole from Lopez.
He's trying to hack into that. He's trying to. Well, he's got all the reenactments of not the reenactments, the actual data of the battle that they went through.
Yeah, he's got the recordings of the battle with the Donninger, with the stealth ships. And it's the only, the only high resolution scans of these ships anyone's been able to get. And, obviously they only got those by sacrificing themselves. So that's very valuable to the right person. So the question is, I suppose, what's Fred Johnson going to do with it?
Well, I had my suspicions as to if Fred Johnson had built these stealth ships. But the way that he came across this time round was, well, he's never really seen this sort of tech, or never seen these ships up this close. So that, to me, I know you know the answer to this, but
yeah, I know.
That, to me, points in the direction of it's not built by him, it's someone else. This is something we haven't seen.
It is. Potentially.
Yeah.
You have to wait and see.
This is like another faction, which I flipping love. Because it's not Earth, it's not Mars, around the Belters or Jupiter or possibly Saturn, I don't know. But this isn't from there. This is...
This is something else. I mean, and as Kenzo says later on, the only people which can afford to build stealth ships are Mars.
Yeah.
Which I find strange. I can't imagine Mars having more money than Earth.
What? That's why I was suggesting maybe it is some kind of communist planet. The way that they can pool their resources and just aim for one single direction and work on that.
Yeah, possibly. I'm just a complete sidebar, but I've been reading through the latest Red Rising novel called Iron Golds, and in there you've got the core planets, but then you have the moon lords of the moons of Jupiter.
Okay.
And it's always we know there's lots of stuff going on around the moons of Jupiter, so it's not that I'm not kind of doing that, but it's interesting to think that of all those moons that we have there, Io, Ganymede, and Europa and everything. It'd be interesting if there was another colony or something to declare independence. But I don't think you could set up something on the scale of like the Mars Congressional Republic or the UN without someone noticing.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to get those.
Plus, we're not allowed to go to Europa.
It's true, because all these planets are yours except Europa.
Yeah, exactly.
No landings there. I'm impressed you got that, by the way.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Legit. Anyway. Little interesting side note here. The person who he's working with there is a character called Sam Rosenberg.
Okay.
And she's actually a much bigger character in the books than she will be in here. This is her only appearance, I believe.
Okay.
In the series. But in the books, she's a much, much bigger character. So just a little bit of interest. They basically take a lot of her story and give it to another character later on.
Yeah. And, well, he gets word of someone flipping and burning and slowing down.
Yeah, it's a UNN ship, the UNN Nathan Hale, which interestingly enough, and I don't think this is official or anything, but that was the ship that we see him on in that flashback to the Battle of Anderson Station.
Ah, okay. What, standing on the dock doors things?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're just using, or they were just using that ship model for that. But yeah.
Right. No, that's cool. I like the way that they've said that it's already flipped and it's burning.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 2 days out.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Wicked. I love that.
Yeah. Well, you have to think about that. It's not just getting there as quick as you can. It's you accelerate as hard as you can. And then when you get to the halfway point, you've got to flip around and then burn to slow yourself down.
Yeah. There's no planet to go around to kind of slow your trajectory. That's the word. You can't use the atmosphere for that sort of thing. If you're in the middle of, I don't know, the belt or the space or somewhere like that, you have to kind of do the opposite of what you've been doing for the last 2 days. But it's proper tanker sort of stuff as well, isn't it?
It is. It's taken into account real Newtonian physics, which a lot of science fiction just doesn't bother with. I mean, I think the most notable example people might be familiar with is The Martian.
Yeah. Because
in that, the Hermes has to either slow down to enter Earth orbit or accelerate to do its slingshot, head back to Mars.
Yeah.
But I love that science geeky sort of stuff. That's all very cool. And obviously the reason the UNN is heading to Tycho is because it's been sent from Earth, and that's where we're going, Nacy.
Good,
Dots are connected. Dots are connecting. Very, very brief trip to Earth this week. We see Admiral Souther, who's the head of the Joint Chiefs, and we've seen him, I think, a couple of times so far this season. And Avasarala and Ehrenreich. And Ehrenreich's basically, we're going to Tycho to find out if Johnson's behind these stealth ships. Mm-hmm. And Souther's like, I don't think he is. What are we doing here? And he's like, I don't care. We're doing this anyway. And Avasarala's just like, we're doing it. Move on. And then it's like, and now we're going to go and kill Holden. She's like, well, we don't learn anything from a corpse.
Yeah. He's got like a Black Ops team heading towards 2 places, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tycho and Eros.
Well, I don't think the one heading to Tycho's Black Ops, because, it's a big bloody battleship.
Right, okay. Yeah. Kind of. Well, I assumed it would be that kind of mission disguised, because they're disguising their engine burns, aren't they? Yeah,
well, they're disguising it as having a reactor accident. Mm. So they're basically saying they have to dock to do repairs. And I think there's, conventions established, like we saw with the Cant, where if you receive a distress call, you have to respond to it.
Yep.
And I think it's the same as if you have an engine problem or reactor problem, you have to dock at the nearest station. And Tycho's like, we think you're faking it. And they're like, well, we're not.
Yeah, and if you call it, then you've received that transmission, and so you have to abide by the law and say, okay, right, you can dock, and we'll help you out.
Mm. So you got the Nathan Hale is heading there on his orders to basically find out if he's been building these stealth ships.
Mm.
And at the same time, they're doing this Black Ops mission to just go and kill it. And Avasarala, thinks this is a bad idea. She thinks he's in the right. But she's still being a hard ass, as far as things like the Fred Johnson thing goes. It's like, no, we're going there. End of discussion. Moving on. And I think you can literally see Souther roll his eyes at that point. It's just like, oh, God, damn politicians.
Yeah. But she lost control of the Holden situation last episode, didn't she?
Yeah, she lost control when the spy went off the grid, finger quoting there. And so he basically, Aaron Wright ordered the, if not Aaron Wright, the, is it Secretary General, I think they call him? Whoever's in charge, basically.
Yeah.
He orders the assassination, and he's going to be gunned down in a random act of violence on the murder capital of the solar system. So it's kind of painting an interesting picture of what Eros is going to be like.
Yeah. Wait, it's all planned out, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's very political, and I'm not saying politicians have done this in the past, but it's kind of echoing what has happened in the past.
Oh, no, it literally has happened with that guy in the Saudi embassy recently, that journalist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a tried and true staple of dirty politics.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, dirty politics. There you go.
Yeah. Avasarala then gets the bad. Well, they all start receiving the news that Frank de Graaf has committed suicide. Mm-hmm. The ambassador. And I really liked how you could see how this has kind of shaken her. But Aaron Wright's like, well, we can finish this later. And she's like, we can finish this now. She's not going to let this derail the argument she's having.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think she might think that might show weakness as well.
I think there's an element of that, but I also think there's an element of there's nothing she can do. He's dead. So I can't go and do anything about that right now. But this is a situation now where, I can't lose control. Like you said, it happened last week with the Holden thing, and she doesn't want that to happen again. So I just like how forcefully she's just like, no, you don't get to dismiss me like that. We'll finish this now.
Yeah.
But I still like, she's such a fantastic actress, and you can really see how shaken she is from it, but is still, no, I'm going to get the job done, and then I'm going to deal with that.
Yeah. Now, you trust me with this sort of stuff as well, about not watching forward and reading forward and stuff like that, yes?
Oh yeah. Okay. Although I would like to be very clear, I don't care if you do.
I'm sure you don't, but I haven't. So can I have a little think about this de Graaf guy?
Sure.
I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead because he was kicked out of his home recently, wasn't he?
He was banned from returning to Mars.
Yeah.
Him and his husband.
And so a good way of going undercover, off-grid type thing is, okay, well, he's committed suicide. Don't have to worry about him anymore. And then he can go back to Mars. So it's just a little poke there. I don't know whether that's going to happen or not. I love the fact that you know. And you're just going, you're doing like rude signs to me down. If there was like a camera here, I could see you doing rude signs to me. I don't know, but
you know me so well.
Yeah, that's my little thing. I reckon I don't think we've seen the end of him, but I probably sound like an idiot right now.
Well, I guess we'll just have to find out.
Yeah.
If not next week, maybe the week after.
Oh man. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying, if not next week, maybe the week up. I'm sure they're going to follow up with what's happening on Earth.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that's pretty much everything we've got on Earth there. So I think now's a good opportunity to hop over to the Rocinante and see our boys and girls over there. They're heading to an asteroid, and I wrote this down. Bravo Alpha 8340241112. It's a very catchy name.
Well done.
Oh, thank you. And I like, this is the location that Fred Johnson sent them to, the last known location of Lionel Johnson.
Polanski, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, Lionel Polanski, yeah. Fred Johnson, but yeah. Lionel Polanski. And I like how they're, looking for this and all of a sudden go, oh, what's that right there? And, you just kind of skip around and there's just this black shape parked just inside of a cave mouth there.
Yeah, it's a weird old... I can't really make out exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. It's black on black on black, isn't it?
Mm.
And it's, it just looks kind of sinister just sitting there and hiding there. And I really like when they see it, and they going, hey, don't even show up on scopes or anything. And Amos just goes, I kind of want to blast it.
Yeah, we're getting a bit of comedy through these guys now as well. And it's not full in your face comedy. It's very subtle, but it's little one-liners that aren't too harsh that you go, well, hang on, that feels out of place. It's little one-liners that just suit the situation right there and then.
Well, there's things like that, and there's bits like when they go onto the ship, and Amos says to the guy, you're the canary in the coal mine.
Mm.
And then when you've got the camera feeds coming up on Alex's screen, his one says Cam 1 Canary.
I didn't see that.
I just like those little details like that. It's kind of fun.
Oh man, I didn't see that at all. But I love this whole scene going on to this ship. And, okay, am I right in thinking this is the ship from the very first scene in the very first episode?
Yes, you are quite correct, sir.
It is,
I was going to tease you a little bit there, but you guessed correctly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't get it the first time round.
Oh, yes, because we're recording this a little bit later, you've had a chance to watch this twice, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it was when they were walking to the reactor, when Holden and Naomi were walking to the reactor, and it had that shape towards it. It's not a hexagon, I think it was. Yes, a hexagon.
Okay.
And when she burst out of one of the rooms, it's that sort of shape. By the way, that is the sort of shape I thought the others' ships in the Bobbyverse would look like.
Oh.
Inside.
The Brazilian ships?
No, the one where they brought them back to Earth to transport them off Earth.
Oh, the other. Oh, okay, the others ships.
The others ships, yeah. Yeah.
For anyone wondering what we're talking about, it's a book series called Bobbyverse. There's an episode of The Great Derelict in it. Go check it out. It's very good.
There you go.
The book's not necessarily the episode.
But yeah, that's what I thought the ships would look like. It's that sort of shape where you have no up or down or anything like that. Every surface is the floor or the ceiling, all at the same time.
Yeah.
But
no, I could definitely see that. And it's just a very utilitarian sort of design.
It's big as well, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's bigger than what I thought it would be, because when the Rocinante maneuvered alongside it and docked with it, it was bigger than the Rocinante, wasn't it?
Yeah. But you've got to remember the Rocinante, or the Tachi as it was at the time, was inside the Donninger.
Mm.
So, I mean, Donninger's one of the biggest ships you're going to get in the system, except for something the size of like the Nauvoo. But still, the stealth ships are, it's a corvette. It's a smaller sort of warship.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, this is good. I like all this stuff. This is really good.
Oh, yeah. And it's properly creepy when they're going through this, isn't it?
Yeah, it had an X-Files vibe to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you got that sort of thing, but
I wasn't a huge fan of the X-Files back in the day. I didn't watch it religiously, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But it's definitely got that kind of sense of impending dread building as you're going through it. You've got the, the lights. You've got the ka-tunk, ka-tunk, ka-tunk from their boots as they're walking along.
That helps, doesn't it?
It really, yeah.
That's the motion tracker from Aliens, isn't it?
A little bit.
It's that sort of pulse. It's that heartbeat behind you. Mm-hmm. Just so you can keep time of what's going on.
And then they do the one thing you should never ever do when, exploring an abandoned spaceship. They split up.
Of course they do.
It's like rule one, guys. You don't do it. But at least they had the good sense to just split up into pairs.
Yeah.
And we got Naomi and Holden head down to the reactor, which, as you've rightly pointed out, we've already seen once in the first episode. Mm. What did you think when you first saw the reactor there?
It looks like, I know they said it looked like something organic down there. And yeah, it looked like a crystal or crystallized organic matter over the reactor. I like the way you get the rear projection shot as well, where you can see it creeping over the edge. So you get the very angular metallic reactor shape, and also the weird crap that you don't really know what it's all about.
It looks like mold or something, doesn't it?
Ooh. Okay.
I'm not giving that as any kind of a hint. I'm just saying that's what it looks like to me. It looks like mold or fungus or something. It's a really unsettling effect, and it's kind of even worse when it's off, for lack of a better word.
Right.
When you can just kind of make it out, and they're just heading towards it. And, it's a proper shout at us TV moment. It's like, no, don't go in there.
And everything's super slow as well, isn't it? Because the way that they're situated, they haven't got any gravity to work off. And gravity's done really well in this episode. And Zero G has done really well in this episode, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
There's a few touches where the spy one, hang on, let me get up his name again. Oh, IMDb. Kenzo, that's it. IMDb failed me then. When he was initially pulled out of his room and he just taps the ceiling to come down to the floor and click his boots on.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice little touch. That's so good. But this moldy type thing that you described it as, I thought it's almost glistening. It's like a mineral. I saw it as like a mineral, like a stalagmite or a stalactite. That's the way I see it. I didn't see it moving. I thought I saw it moving the first time I watched it, but
it doesn't move when it's off.
Right.
But when they fire up the reactor and they're close to it, it does move then.
Are there like little tentacles?
Yeah. Little tendrils kind of moving towards Holden and Naomi.
Cool. Okay. I thought I saw something. I was like, no. I just dismissed it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's very, very subtle, and I think to make you question it. I mean, you're making me question it now, but I'm 99% sure it's moving at that point.
So this is feeding off the reactor then, yeah? This is feeding off the power.
It's feeding off the power, yeah. So when they switch on the reactor to, make their life a bit easier, have things like lights and stuff and ship's computer systems, it just starts drawing power and effectively switching itself back on or whatever, and starts glowing.
Right.
But it's throughout the ship, because it's not just the stuff that's directly connected to the reactor. You can see it down the corridors, and there's a little bit on the bridge, and it just feels like that kind of, if they touch it, bad stuff's going to happen. It's that classic kind of, don't get any on you.
Yeah, it's like what's Venom in the DC universe? Like I forget what they call it.
Marvel universe. We'll get letters, but yes, it's a symbiote.
Did I? Oh God, yes, we will get. Oh, sorry. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of that where it has no size or shape, but can continue to grow. And I would imagine after a certain amount of time, this would take over a whole ship. And then it would become like is it an organic thing? But it's only feeding off power and then it goes dormant. I don't know. I don't know enough about this stuff.
Nah. All we know is what we've seen here and, a little bit in the first episode. Because if you remember, when she walked into the reactor room, it was eating someone.
Oh, yes. Oh. I'd forgotten about that. Yes. Oh. Okay. Right, I have questions at the very end then.
Okay, well, we'll save those for at the very end then. We see a couple more tricks that the Rossi can do. It comes with its own drones now. It was very cool. Just an interesting way to kind of explore ships. Makes a lot of sense as well, It doesn't put your crew in any kind of dangers. Lets them go off and have a look around.
It's good to add these sort of things slowly, drip feed them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you had drones coming out on the very first episode that they started flying this thing around just to establish, okay, right, we've got drones, then it might have been a bit too much and maybe a bit misplaced as well. But it's nice to have this, as long as they don't bring out like a MacGuffin just to save them at the very end of one episode, then that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I like,
cool.
Yeah, I thought they looked kind of cool. When he picks them up, they've all got names, and I wanted to see if they had like fun kind of in-joke names, but no, not really. They're just drones. That's kind of cool. We find out obviously the name of the ship's the Anubis, which ties into what we know from Miller's investigation. This is the ship that Julie Mao and the Scopuli intercepted.
Can I say, this is also a name that crops up in Lost as well, so I'm very happy with that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
As Kenzo points out, the Egyptian god of death.
Yeah.
Although Anubis works as well.
I like that dude. I like Kenzo.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's going to be another shed, isn't he? He's going to be another shed. He's just going to have his head wiped off of him.
I think if Amos gets his way, it will be.
Yeah.
I like how you got. I actually like the dynamic between Kenzo and Amos when they're up on the bridge, and you got like just Amos just being intimidating just by being there. But Holden said, if he so much as breaks a toenail, you're hitchhiking home.
Yeah.
But I think Amos is having the time of his life. Yeah.
I think he is. I think Holden's really slipping into that captain role as well.
Yeah.
Because once there's a few good things on this. Because, okay, this glowy thing starts glowing and they start panicking and get the crap off.
Yeah.
But they go, okay, right, contamination, and we need to be quarantined and go through all the proper and correct procedure. And Alex is just like, yeah, I was going to make you do that anyway.
Yeah, you weren't getting on here otherwise.
Any other ship would be like, no, just get in, just come in, don't worry about it, it'll be fine. We've seen that in some of our favourite movies, and it annoys us, and they do it right in this one. It's not. It doesn't take a massive montage to do this. It's just, okay, right, we go through this procedure, see them get all dusted down, and then they're back on. That's it. It's easy.
Yeah. It's just, we've seen enough of these films and these tropes to just know this is what you do. It's in the same way, like, if someone is going to set off an EMP, you don't need to explain what it is anymore. We know now. We know what EMPs do, so we're good.
Yes. It's in the zeitgeist of us.
Ooh, there you go. That's the word of your day, isn't it?
There you go.
Anything else worth mentioning? Oh, they steal the safe because, they couldn't open it. And they're just like, we'll just take it with us.
Okay, so that's going to have records of what was going on here.
We don't know.
It's going to. Come
it's
on, it's going to. Didn't it have in the logs as well? It was coming. This ship was coming from
Phoebe Station,
where
yes.
I forget his name. It starts with L. It's
Lopez.
Lopez, yes. He said that they got wiped out there.
Yeah, where the Donninger had been to previously, and, they kept asking about... It's a name which has cropped up multiple times.
We haven't seen it yet, though.
We haven't seen it yet, and we don't know what's going on there, but everyone keeps saying something about, Phoebe Station, what happened at Phoebe Station, it turned up and everyone was dead. So,
we say we haven't seen it yet. We have seen video footage from there, though, haven't we? Yeah,
we saw the log, I think it was, but we haven't. Well, when I say we haven't seen it, we haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
And I honestly can't remember if we do go there or not. The other thing just worth mentioning is the Anubis is the ship which destroyed the Cant.
That is definitely the ship, yes?
Well, yeah, they find the vac suit from the Scopuli.
Yep.
And we've already seen it, the one that Julie Mao was on.
Right.
From the very first episode.
I thought that was a bit of a leap to just assume that was the one that blew up the Cant.
No, they make it pretty clear, and, without, spoiling anything, it is that one.
Yeah.
There's no, what the twist, it was a different ship. No, this is the ship which destroyed the Cant.
Okay, cool.
And they get some sweet, sweet revenge by blowing it the fuck up.
And Holden gets his fire.
Well, yeah, he gets a very deep fire. I quite like how he kind of asks everyone, does anyone mind if we blow that piece of shit up? And they're just like, no, we're good. Except Kenzo's no, don't. Anyone but you. Okay.
Please don't kill him. Please don't. I like him. It's like Inspector Gadget.
He is a little bit.
I like him.
with his magic eyes there.
Yeah.
Still can't get a signal on the Rossi, though, but fortunately, where we can get a signal? On Eros.
That's right.
And so we're off to our second... I think this is the second asteroid planetoid thing we've seen after series. So yeah, it's it's a bit of a shithole, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, talking about it, when Miller turns up, because we get Miller turning up there, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
And we see his bus park up and get off, and you see, once again, you get like a map of Eros. I like the way they do their little maps. I would imagine you could just go up to that and tap on it and spin it around and find out you are here in the arse of Eros. And you want to go there because Starbucks is over there.
Yeah.
And
welcome to the arse end of nowhere. Population U.
Exactly, yeah. But we don't get the Rossi turning up there. It's just assumed that they turned up.
Well, they're heading there. The next thing you see them there, we don't need to see, them docking. We're kind of beyond that.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I like it.
No, very much so. But I like how when Miller arrives, he looks up on the docking board, and we see the Anubis 1A is there, and I think he's forgotten he's not a police officer anymore. The way he goes and deals with the dockmaster.
Yeah, he hasn't got that authority, has he? And that dockmaster is clearly playing Candy Crush of the future.
Oh yeah, it's space Candy Crush.
Yeah, he's properly hooked on that, and he starts throwing his weight around, but he's also throwing his money around as well, as if he can bribe anyone to do whatever he wants. And he does get information, but it just doesn't really go down the way that he wants it to. And I think he's forgetting the position that he's in.
Well, yeah, because he spent God knows how many years as the law on Ceres, and he doesn't really know how to operate any other way. He's been at this too long to stop being an arsehole, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he's got one thing he's after, and that's Julie. Yeah. To find out what's happened to her or where she is and track her down. It's
basically cost him everything trying to find this girl, so it's the one thing he's got left to hold on to. But yeah, it doesn't go quite to plan. You have all those thugs kind of bust in with the guns, the police on Eros. I think Sema says they're the new security contractor, and they're basically just thugs with guns.
They are. Hang on, I've got it written down here somewhere. CMP.
Okay.
They are the CMPs. They have taken over. They're the ones that have taken over all the video cameras and everything, and kind of just looking after the whole shebang, really. That's where Sammy, he didn't have the authority to just jump in and find the footage of Julie.
Yeah.
But he still had it, though, didn't he?
Oh, he went and got it, yeah. I like Sammy. He's funny. I like how he goes, "Where's my hat?"
So he's the originator of the hat, then?
Well, I don't know if the hat was his or if he just bought it for Miller.
Right.
Because I don't know if I can see him wearing that hat.
It kind of suits Miller, doesn't it?
It really does.
I want him to get his hat back now.
Yeah, I missed a hat. But yeah, I like he bought him a hat to help him keep his head down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the fact that, these two have got, a long history going back a ways. They're old friends. And it's just nice seeing that dynamic there. And, the way, like when they go up to the food stand, he goes, "I'll have a number 4. And Miller's there going, yeah, I've got no money left. Just a coffee."
Yeah. Yeah, but with that footage, though, he says that the footage of Julie is the footage of
Lionel Polanski.
Polanski.
Yeah, well, that was the name she used when she booked the room.
Okay, so is this this is just a name then?
Yep.
Okay, so it is just a name.
Yep, it's a code name.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay.
So there you go. So Miller and Holden are looking for the same person. I wonder if they'll meet. Spoiler alert, they do.
Yes, that's a good scene as well.
I love this scene. The way it builds that tension. Because you can see shit's about to go down. We see Kenzo taking a picture with his magic eyes. And then he's just standing there looking all nervous. And you got, they're waiting for the guy in front to do whatever he's doing, and it's just, there's no music. And
side glances.
And then you got Amos, like he spots, to clock these people coming in and all that. And he just very slowly brings his hand up and starts pulling the zipper down on his top.
Yeah, that sounds sexy as well, doesn't it? That
it does sound sexy.
Click. You don't know whether like the lights are going to start dimming. It's like It's Raining Men starts kicking in at the background, but yeah, it's just like, yeah.
But it just, the tension just keeps building and building and building, and you've got Kenzo getting sweatier and sweatier and sweatier. And then all of a sudden, he just bolts and all hell breaks loose.
Because he sold them down the river, isn't he? Because he took photos of it was the Blue Dragon, wasn't it?
Falcon.
Blue Falcon, sorry.
Yeah.
So he took a photo
Put it this way, it's the kind of place which charges by the hour.
Well, I was thinking, what's the one in Police Academy? What was that? The Blue Oyster Bar, isn't it? That's it, yeah. Blue Oyster. Okay. That one. Anyway, maybe I know that scene too well.
I think maybe a little bit.
But he's proper sold them down the river by taking a photo of Holden outside the Blue Falcon.
Well, don't forget, he works for the UN government. He is their spy.
Yeah.
His whole purpose of being there is to spy originally on Fred Johnson, but now on Holden. So, yeah, I mean, he sold them out, but it's kind of what his job is. So, he does that, and then he just gets out of there and just all hell breaks. Like, all of a sudden, everyone's got guns, and it's just bullets going everywhere. I love how Alex trips over the bulletproof couch trying to get over it.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that sofa is just annihilated, and yet not a scratch.
Oh yeah, it's a bulletproof couch. There's a plate of Kevlar on those cushions.
It's like the safest place to be. No, guys. Don't go behind the bar where the receptionist has been killed and murdered. Come behind this sofa. You'll be absolutely fine. Yep.
I mean, the only one who seems to be doing any good with taking him out is Amos, who's just cool as a cucumber. He's just like, he drops the girl, who was the first one to start shooting at him. And then
did she get a shot off?
I think she got one shot. She pulled the gun, but she was down after like one shot. And then you got the guy with the automatic and the other two guys, and Amos gets another one, I think. But yeah, it's just bullets everywhere. There's no police turning up because when Kenzo sent the picture, you saw there's a message on his eye saying, police won't attend.
Yes.
So they've obviously just kind of told the police, you're going to hear reports of gunshots. It's just fireworks. Or something like that. But then, and this is my note here, which I think you'll appreciate. I just put, it's Miller time.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Because, all of a sudden, he just kind of comes in and it's like, pow, pow, pow. Cool as a cucumber. He kind of finishes them off. I think Amos finishes the last one off. And then he just walks in and he's just like, James Holden, shit just follows you around, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I know that this is built for adverts as well, but there's that jarring cut scene because you have them fronting off with each other. Yeah. It fades to black and then fades back up, and then it's okay, right, scene and go. It's like, okay, thanks for your assistance, but who are you? And oh, come on, you can do better than that. That's so cheesy. Yeah, that didn't work for me.
Yeah, alas. Built for adverts, but fortunately from season 4 onwards, we don't have to worry about that because it's built for Amazon.
Yeah,
Huzzah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So looking forward to that. But he's in there, and he doesn't even break us his stride. Seeing Holden there and everyone there looking for Lionel Polanski. He knows what he's going to. He's going up to room 22. Everything we've seen so far is built to this moment. And I like how Holden tries to give him that kind of the ultimatum, saying, you're going to tell me what's going on. You're going to answer my question. He just, without, raising his voice or anything, just turns around and says, I'm going up to room 22. There's a load of thugs going to come in, but these ones are going to have badges. And if you do that again, they're going to have another body. And you've got Amos behind, just kind of smiles like going, yeah, boy.
Yeah, I'm really starting to love these characters.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic. They're just so well realised and so well acted. I just love it.
Well, there's that bit when they all decide to go upstairs, don't they? And you have Holden and Amos on either side of the door, and they're kind of looking at each other, going, "Okay, right,
I'm free. I'm free. And Miller's just like, poof.
And they look at each other, go, "What?" And also, Alex pulls a gun on that guy. He's like,
oh yeah,
no.
Yeah. Amos is like, calm down. Yeah, but to be fair, I think this is probably the first time they've been shot at least directly. On the Donninger, I suppose, but that's different. There's the adrenaline trying to escape from the ship and all this. This was personal. They were there to kill them.
That was for them, wasn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, he's a bit on edge. But they get into the room and it looks like there's been a fight, but it's not. They've just Naomi says, no, they've been turning the power off.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they put 2 and 2 together, like the reactor on the Anubis, and we're like, don't touch anything.
Exactly, yeah.
And there's a really bad smell in there. He's saying it smells like sweat and vomit and death, basically.
Yeah, because on the Anubis, they did turn around and say about it had been breached but powered down correctly.
Yeah, someone had turned... They'd breached the door to get into engineering, but they'd actually turned the reactor off properly and then vented the ship. So it wasn't like a reactor problem which scrammed it or anything. So, yeah, they get in there and then they find poor old Julie. Julie's dead.
So this is proper Julie, then?
This is Julie.
I was wondering whether this was going to be like a switcheroo as, oh, maybe it wasn't Julie. This is someone else that you should have been following, and you've totally missed this person. So this was Julie.
This was Julie, yes.
Okay, so
it's pretty hard to look at as well, isn't it? It's kind of ick.
It's pretty graphic without seeing much, just enough. You just see enough to go, oh, that's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing this is like a biohazard thing from what we've just seen on the Anubis. Yeah, that's what I think anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it's giving anything. Yeah, it's basically, it's going back to, again, the first episode when we saw, she walked in on that room and the thing reached for her.
Mm.
Yeah, we're basically seeing that. And if you remember when you saw the video footage of her on Eros, she was kind of like, it looked like hurt or ill or something when she's walking up to the thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it looks like it's a bit of a biohazard thing.
So, she's proper brown bread from this.
Yes.
So we're not going to see any more Julie Mao.
Well, I think I've already mentioned, we have a flashback episode.
Ah, okay, cool.
So we will get to see what led to her being there.
That's totally going to be next week. That's got to be. That's episode 9 territory. Easy. Come on. I know how TV works sometimes.
Yeah. It is next week's, basically. Yeah. We kind of next week just get Julie's story and, we see what leads for her to be there.
That's cool.
But yeah, like you say, we're only 2 away from the end now. Yeah. And since next week is mostly a flashback, we're really only 1 away from the end.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wow. It's all ending up really, really quickly now, isn't it?
Yeah. It's funny that, it's just kind of crept up and all of a sudden it's got a slow burn, this show. It takes a little while to get up to speed, but once it does, you're burning at full power.
Yeah. So Miller's love, and I'm quotation marks there, she's dead. So he kind of like sits down and goes, oh, it's Julie Mao. So is he heartbroken with this?
I think he is, but I don't think it's heartbroken so much in a romantic-y sort of way. At least that's not the impression I got. I think it was more of a... well, I suppose maybe it is in a way, but I suppose it might even be in a little bit of a creepy stalkery sort of way, but, he's supposed to be the good guy. But it's...
Well, that was his journey, wasn't it? That's the reason why... She was the reason why he left.
Yeah, he kind of fixated on her.
And day one, he turns up this place. Oh, she's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back and get my hat.
Whoops. That's awkward.
Oh, man. So what's he going to do? So they can't touch that. They won't be touching that. If they turn any lights on, then she's going to start glowing, man.
I would certainly hope they don't touch that. For I imagine that would be bad.
Is she dead? If they turn the lights on, would she start reanimating?
Julie Zombie.
Yeah. I'm just thinking things through now in my head. They're probably just utter tosh. Okay. No, she's got to be dead. Looks grim though, man. That looks, I don't know whether it's painful. It reminds me, and I know this is before it, but the Annihilation and that guy in the swimming pool.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like that. That was all fungus and plants and stuff like that as well, wasn't it? So, ooh, man. Okay, cool. Right, so we got like a biohazard thing. We've got 2 stories that have joined together.
Yeah, we've got Miller's finally met up with Holden and the rest of the crew.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like all these threads are coming together.
Yeah, we've got a motley crew going around. I wonder if Miller's going to join this band of rapscallions and go around the solar system.
Having fun adventures.
Yeah. Solving crimes. No.
Yeah, I think it's a very different, a very different sort of show than that.
Yeah. Okay, can I just ask, without spoiling anything?
Okay.
With season 1 coming to a close for me.
Yes.
And you knowing what comes after this.
Yes.
Is season 2 quite a different beast to season 1? Because I found that was the same thing with Game of Thrones for me. It's a very different beast. It was slow and not painfully slow, but it took its time in building stuff up.
Well, without wanting to spoil anything for you, what I can tell you is, this is based on some books, yeah?
Yes.
The Expanse series of books. Well, book 1 covers season 1 and the first half of season 2.
Okay.
So it kind of maintains this momentum through season 2. And then at the midpoint of season 2, it kicks over to book 2. But on the whole, The Expanse kind of keeps this kind of pace going.
Okay.
There's a couple of smaller, quieter episodes here and there where it kind of gives you just pause for a breath, but then it kind of just gets going straight away.
Okay.
So it is, I suppose the best comparison I could probably give you would be like season 1 of Galactica. It's that level of intensity for the most part.
Okay. No, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just compared to how you felt about this at the very beginning, because, it took you a couple of goes to get into this.
Mm-hmm.
This is properly compelling now, isn't it? This is like, I want to see the next episode now. I must see the next episode.
Yeah. No, this is good. I've got good characters. I'm building on them every episode as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the ship is becoming a character.
And
you're building on that every episode as well. And so I'm liking this. We've got a couple of things going on. We've got Earth going on, and we keep visiting that, but we don't have masses to do down there. That is our talky bit.
Yeah, that's kind of setting the geopolitical scene for the system.
Almost like the narrator.
A little bit, yeah, I could see that. We've got a couple of, 3 different locations in the belt. Tycho, Ceres, and Eros now.
Yeah.
We've got the Rossi, obviously. I think the big noticeable absence is Mars. Because, Mars is still this thing that we hear about, and we've seen people from it, we've seen ships from it, but we've not seen anything of Mars.
No, we've seen the Donninger,
mm-hmm.
and that is their was their flagship.
It was the flagship of the Jupiter fleet, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we've seen that. We saw the Scipio Africanus, the little skiff which dealt with Diego and his dad, Matteo.
Yeah.
And obviously the Rocinante or Vitachi. We know that Alex is Martian, but that's it. We haven't had an Avasarala type character to give us a Mars kind of perspective on things and what's going on. So Mars is still very much kind of the other. And we still don't really know what's the deal with these ships. And are they directly connected to the gunk in the ship? Or was this just, there was something going on and then it kind of just, this gunk is another thing that's going on.
Oh, yeah, okay. Was the gunk... No, because we saw her. I thought she was on the Scopuli at that time, but this was the ship that she was on.
Yeah, there's a little bit of misdirection there, which was very clever.
Yeah, that's good. Oh man, 8 episodes in, you're like, oh yes, there you go. So we got the gunk. I take it we're going to call it the gunk for a little while now.
Well, I know what it's properly called. But
yeah,
I don't want to tell you what it's properly called, so we're going to call it the gunk.
Okay. And then we got these like stealth ships as well.
Uh-huh.
Can I just change my opinion on the Mars ships and them being communist and stuff like that? I feel that they're more the Americans of the solar system, the world police, should we say? Would that suit them more?
I don't think so. I think Mars is, in a strange way, it's probably like the Royal Navy was in the 90s and early 2000s. Had a lot less ships, but arguably in some respects they were better one-on-one, but just didn't have as many as Earth does.
Okay.
So the idea then would be, for every Martian ship would have to be able to destroy, say, 3 or 5 Earth ships.
Yep.
And I don't think they're police. I think Earth sees itself as the Americans and the system police. It certainly seems to feel it's entitled to everything in the system because, it's the cradle of humanity. And we even had Avasarala say at one point, Earth must come first.
Yeah.
The only reason Mars is where it is because it's building off of, all the years of human advancement and evolution on Earth before doing that. So it has to pay its dues to Earth. And that's a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know what the word is. Arrogant, maybe? Presumptuous?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the sense of, she's like, I know you're trying to terraform a planet and, you're all living to this dream, but Mama's got to get paid.
But life is established on Mars, though, isn't it?
Mars is life is established on Mars, but you still have to wear a suit to go outside.
Yeah.
You still can't, because Lopez was saying, you're still living under domes. You still have to wear spacesuits to go outside. They're terraforming the planet. They're trying to, but they're not there yet. And the Cold War with Earth is delaying that process more than anything else because they have to divert resources into their military and into all that sort of stuff rather than just plowing it into trying to terraform the planet. Yeah. And I presume the reason they're doing that is if they didn't, and they just kind of kowtowed to Earth, it would take even longer because Earth would have all the resources from the system going straight to Earth before going to Mars at all. So
there's a balance to strike for that planet.
There should be a balance, and as per usual, Earth is being a dick.
Yeah. Of course. Why wouldn't they be?
It's true.
Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty standard for Earth. Yay.
Good stuff. What, should we leave it here for this one then?
I think it's a good place to kind of call it a day on this episode, definitely. But yeah, as we mentioned, only 2 left to go. And as we've already touched upon, next week is a flashback episode. It's not entirely a flashback episode, it is largely a flashback episode. And it's called Critical Mass.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I think we're due it, and I think it because we've been following Julie for so long, and she's been such an integral part of this season so far, but without being there, I suppose it's only right that we find out her story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I definitely think it's going to be. I'm looking forward to seeing what you make of it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a good episode, and we're building up to the final crescendo for season 1. And I'm looking forward to watching it again and to seeing what you think of it.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. It's so cool. Yeah. All nearly done season 1 already. It's so cool.
Absolutely. Well, as you say, we've come to the part of the podcast where one plugs one's wares. So, sir, do your thing.
Okay. Well, if you enjoyed listening to me prattle on a little bit about the expense, then maybe you'd like to pop along to the Black Dog Podcast, which is at blackdogpodcast.com, where myself, Mr. Lee Metcalf, Darren Barnard, and Mr. Jim Moon all talk about geeky and weird movies. And I think last week's one was Atlantic Rim, and this week's one is Overlord. So different ends of the spectrum there, I think. So if you fancy that, pop along to iTunes or all the other places that you normally download these sort of shows from, and give them a rating and review as well. So why not do that?
Oh, absolutely. Anything else, sir?
Anything else? No, I think that's it for now. That'd be all right for now.
Well, then I shall plug the rest of our wares, where you can find us both on rogue2media.com, where I do the Great Derelict, you do the Shonky Lab, and we both do the Grand Prix Podcast and the Band of Brothers Podcast and the Earth to the Moon Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't really do them anymore because those last two are finished. But they're all there, so you can go and listen to them. They're great. They're kind of like this, but about those shows. So you should go and check those out. And as Elton says, you can go and give them a little review, a little rating on iTunes. We'd very much appreciate it. Also go and visit our friends over at the bOrgcast at bOrgcast.libsyn.com for your Star Trek needs. And they're also doing Battlestar Galactica, not the new one, the original one at the minute, but they will be doing the new one later. And that's at galactica.libsyn.com. So yeah, go. If you like The Expanse, you will probably like Galactica, the new Galactica. I don't know how you'd feel about the old Galactica, but hey, check it out. It might be for you.
Oh, I think, yeah. If you've got here to The Expanse without going through Galactica, then you took a massive detour somewhere along the line.
Oh, so. But it's the new Galactica. I say the new Galactica. It is kind of over 15 years old at this point, but the new Galactica is well worth a watch. I think LSG Media did a podcast on that as well. So there's lots of very fine podcasts out there, people. Go and check them out and, give reviews. Get a friend to listen along because that's always fun as well, because then they can be excited about this as well. And you can prepare your own conspiracy theories. Then you can be the me who's seen it and you can introduce someone new to it, you see. It's a lot of fun, that is.
Yeah. Also, check out Hypnogoria as well. I just want to throw that one in there.
Yes. Do all those. And Elton will put things in the show notes because he's good at that.
Yes. Show notes will be full of that stuff. So if you want to go along and click on that sort of stuff, then pop along to rogue2media.com and all the show notes and stuff like that will be there for your waiting to be clicked upon. That's a terrible sentence, but we'll keep with it. You know exactly what I meant.
Yes. And you can find us both on Twitter. I'm at Andy3E.
Yeah, and I'm Elton McManus.
Excellent. Well, there you go. I think that's it for another trip into The Expanse. I just want to remind you all to trust your gut before your head gets in the way. Goodbye.